by me.
And we're live. Hello, welcome everybody to the Wide World of Warhammer. With us today, we got the beautiful, sexy human beings from Team Luxemboug and Team Northern Ireland. That's 100% how you pronounce it, right? We got Bolllos in the chat. How you doing, buddy?
Perfect. Thanks for having me again. Different show, but same awesome personality.
Thank you. It sounds like Carl. I don't know why we're getting the echo again.
It's okay. I'll mute in between. That's fine.
It's all right. There you go. Sorry, I'll mute you for you. I'll be the power of the host and go. No,
Unlimited power.
Anyways, also as well. So finally, Jordy, we got to chat of someone who we've been trying to get on for a while now, and then just for whatever reason, life's getting in the way. But tonight we've got him, Cathal from Team Northern Ireland, the captain, I believe. How are you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. I'm just living the dream, you know.
Your microphone.
Yeah, you music yourself. It's too early for you, man. It's too early.
Yeah, that's definitely it. I should see if we'll play around with it. Maybe we can work it out. We'll work it out. Sorry, audio listeners. We'll try and play around with these things and get it to work. So all good. And now when Carl's muted, we can't even edit his mic settings. What's going on? I don't know. This show, we're having a good old time. Anyways, moving onward. So this show is going to be talking about sort of, I know it's a bit, I don't want it to be demeaning, but the battle of the bottom table. So the people who haven't done it historically as well, but are looking to improve. And so obviously everyone wants to do well in Warhammer, and these teams are young at heart and like they want to improve and they're getting better at 40k. So handing over to you, Bolllos. So how did you guys go last year with Team Luxemboug? So obviously small country, small team, but like how'd you guys go?
We went quite well, considering the fact that most of the bottom teams didn't show up, as in the teams that historically did very badly were on our level. They didn't show up. That means that we now know the bottom. Other than Latvia, I think there was no new joiner. There was no one new that came in. Because of training and the way our preparation went and pairings and everything else, we lost matches we could have maybe drawn or maybe even won. Obviously, we're never going to beat Team England, never going to beat Team Italy. Portugal, we lost by a large margin, but I think our pairing matrix was just way, way off. And they had 4 French mercs, which were really good players. So I don't think we could have had a chance against Portugal even to get a draw. But otherwise, I mean, this year, who knows? Maybe we'll win more than one game. We've never been last.
Well,
we've always at least won one.
That's always good then, right? Like you haven't been last. So that's we're not there yet. But maybe you want that, you know. Like sometimes the wooden spoon gets a prize, so it's like, oh, at least got some reward out of it. But no, maybe for emotional and physical, emotional pride, you don't want to finish that low. I don't know. We'll figure it out. It's nothing wrong with it. It's a hard competition. There's a lot of very good players there, and look, it's stiff,
and
right?
You go in with a specific mindset, mind. You don't go in. We don't go in to win. We go in to have a good time, and be a nice opponent to the other guys.
Absolutely. That's couldn't be said by myself. Carl, how did you guys go last year?
In the grand scheme of things, we actually didn't do too bad. So we had a group of Sweden, Canada, and Wales, and then we were the bottom seed, and we beat Wales. And then we played against Romania on the first game on Saturday morning, and we beat them. So we were like 2 wins, and we were sitting like 12th or 14th overall. And it was like, oh, this could be good. And then we paired into Scotland and got beat by 1 point. And then we played Iceland and got beat by 2 points, or vice versa. We beat by 2 points by Scotland and 1 point by Iceland. So we get those 2 draws, and we got the best result we've ever had. But we didn't. We got 2 losses. And then Greece was our last game, and we were coming down as they were going up, and they should never have been they should never be playing us in the last game. They maybe play us like game 4 rather than game 7. So we just got absolutely hammered. It was like, oh shit. But when we played into that game, after my first turn, so I played Sisters in the tie, for example, and I looked at the coach and was like, dude, after his first turn, I am getting KO'd here, easy. Like that's just what's happening. And a load of other tables then pushed really early to try and get us back. But when you push too early, you get absolutely shafted. So like I think we did okay, you know. So but with that, we then get to the airport and find out that we've been jumped by like Wales and loads of teams that were below us before we left the arena were now above us. So.
Damn, that's annoying. But look, this is a good learning experience, right? Like you're battling up there, and you had like some, as you said, some very very tight games between Team Scotland and Team Iceland. So and like 1 or 2 points here are different. Like there could be a very different story, right? So like that's a learning experience for you guys. So but Cathal, how many years had you been attending the WTC? Sorry, or how many years had the Team Northern Ireland been attending ETC then?
Team Northern Ireland had been there for probably 10 years, if not a wee bit longer. But they've always been a team that's gone away for a bit of crack, as Luxembourg are doing now. You know, going away and having a bit of fun and sort of just seeing how it goes and just having fun, bringing whiskey for people and all that sort of stuff. But last year we sort of went away with, I think, like the whole hobby in general, like everything is getting a lot more professional, right? So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your hobby is. There's so much content out there to consume. There's so many people to talk to. There's so much like reviews on equipment and all that sort of stuff. So like the level stepped up even for us at the bottom. The preparation for it was way higher than it had been for like years and years. And with COVID hitting the year before, it gave you like an almost like another full year to prep, and play against loads of teams in TTS and stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, Bolllos, how many years had Team Luxembourg been attending, or was that your first year?
No, ETC. We did the last ETC, and then some motivated people from France who were pretending to be Luxembourgish decided they were going to organize the ETC 2020, and yeah, COVID got in the way. But this will be our third year going.
Yeah, lovely. But like the third year going. So, but obviously like learning a lot of lessons and stuff like that along the way. So, what was the biggest thing about last year? So, Bolllos, you talked about some bad pairings and like some bad matches that were really really close. So, what's been the biggest thing that Team Luxembourg have been focusing on this year to try and improve and like go further onwards and upwards? Is it the player skill? Is it the pairings? Is it a bit of everything? Or
it's a bit of everything, but mostly trying to get the right team together. That's a really hard part, and especially now because last year, as far as I know, the pod phase, you knew which pod you were in way earlier than you know now, because now you know it on the 6th of August, so you can't really prepare anything because they did change it. I don't know if it's fixed or not, but on the 6th of August, that's like 2 days before you start, so you can't prepare into your pod.
I think I'm going to show you some good news, Wallace. I think it actually comes out this weekend or very, very soon. I think the Contact Loss are doing the drawings actually very soon. So
no, that's
you don't have to
ETC, no? Isn't there's a 9th age ETC pairing soon? I don't know if there possibly. I might be talking bullshit.
Yeah, and that's
wouldn't put it
on the
past me.
I really hope you're talking shit. Oh, nice public.
Tom says,
Tom's.
Yeah, 6th of August. The other thing is, I don't know. The 6th. Come on.
I doubt it's tomorrow, right?
No, 2 days.
Yeah, that would be 2 days. Anyways, preparation is a thing because list submission is the 23rd. We're now waiting on that lovely data slate that will finally bring Eldar into line. So now it's waiting time. I mean, you get your games and to get acquainted to the 10th edition, but every practice game you make just lets you know the game, doesn't let you know the list, because it will still change once more. And after that, you just hammer on the list, hammer the list, try to find the best way you can do. Try to find some spicy tech. Maybe some codexes have something out there that you found out or you've heard on some backwater Australian podcast, and then you go like, there might be something to it.
Some infiltrating and doing espionage. What is this? No. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, look, you got to try and get every edge you can get, right? And like when you listen to other people along the way, like, I'm an avid listener of all things podcasts, and I know Cathal himself also listens to a bunch of stuff. So like just hearing different people's ideas and stuff like that is amazing. And because that ball churning, like it's very valuable. And like, yes, you don't have to agree to it, and you think, what the hell is this stupid idea? Like, I knew this is just a recipe for disaster from the get-go, but at least you can get the ball churning and thinking in a different way. Yeah, Cathal, you think the same? Is that like sort of the way you guys...
Microphone.
It doesn't matter how... I was unmuted and then I muted myself again. It doesn't matter how backwater you think it is too, because you'll put it into the group chat and someone else will be like, here, I listened to that too. That actually sounds like a good idea. We should get that WTC. We should try this here. You know what I mean? We should give that a bit of a go. If this guy says it's good, then there must be something to it, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So heading over to you, Bolllos. So what have you guys done between last year and this year to really try and improve the quality overall? So I know actually for the Luxemboug scene is going on. This past weekend you held like one of your first major GT. So was it 40 or 50 people attend, or was
it was supposed to be 64 people, but the Alpine GT really took off. So congratulations to them. It happens. Conflicts come in, but we've had Manny came over. He won the thing obviously because Madman took 3 Wraith Knights and 3 Fire Prisms. I mean, what the hell? And but Dino from Team Netherlands was there. He brought 2 friends with him as well. People from Team Belgium were there.
Dino doesn't have any friends.
Yeah.
They're just people he knows.
There's people he paid. No, it was so there was a competitiveness to it. There wasn't just not some random people that you found outside lying in the barn, but there were good players there. And the French also had their golden ticket event in Paris. So that's why we had 28 players, but the event was awesome. I mean, I heard really good feedback from everyone. And we did learn that the coach, because like we could go around, we could obviously not coach people, even there were people from Team Luxemboug playing there. But the coach is something we really try to get this year. But there's always something that gets in the way. We have one player that doesn't know if he will come, and then we asked all the other players that we didn't select in the first round, and they went like, "Yeah, but now I have other plans now." And then so we just go like, okay, we try to find people left and right. But the coach is a must this year. That's the only thing we're going for, and preparation as well, because now with the coach you have someone that can just whip the boys into shape and run after them and just get my guys, get those games in. Try, okay, you haven't played a single game against Eldar. You haven't played a single game against GSC. Get the game against GSC. If you don't know any GSC player, play the army yourself. Learn it. Even if you're not going to master it, but just play a few games and go for it.
Coaches for us last year were massive. We were supposed to travel with 3 and we traveled with 2. So it's something that we could onboard like really early this year. After we were selected, we were like, right, who do we think will travel? And then we just got on to them. Same guys was last year. You know what I mean? Kieran was amazing last year. Michael Byrne isn't coming, but he was really good. Just catching water and going. It didn't matter what it was. He would just go do it. And then we've got like young guys that want to maybe make the team next year that weren't really in the scene this year, like really busting to go. And we've got 2 of those guys going too. So like coaches is a must at 150%. Like.
Yeah, with us is always something coming up. Some guy canceled at the last moment, or we couldn't find a 9th guy, or the 10th guy said, "Yeah, I'll come." Everybody says they'll coach, and then when the end it comes down to it, "Siri, you weren't selected as a player. Sorry, but we really appreciate you as a coach." And they go like, "Nah, I don't wanna." So it's we're playing with a much smaller player base. But we have, again, interest is peaking, interest is climbing up. And then next year, maybe we have 2 coaches. We'll have 1 for sure this year. I found some mercs if some people couldn't come, but we'll find some coaches this year. That was the main problem. Having that. There's a rules question. There's something you need to be. You always have someone you can just go to and say, "Hey, listen, guys, could you please help me with this? Okay, you do your movement phase. I'll check the codex." You be like Team Netherlands. They brought the entire codexes and they just went through them. Okay, there's an issue with the rule. Go check the wording. And then you just concentrate on the other part of the game. Well, you're not going to shoot that. We're going to shoot the next thing that was inconsequential to the other one. Always having someone around that goes around and tries to get the feel of the team, who's playing what, who's playing how far ahead is it? Okay, go push. He's not getting as many points as you have. And then the other thing we trained a lot is learning to estimate how many points you get, like the predictions. Which, because you can have the best pairing matrix in the world, if you can't do predictions. Doesn't matter at all.
Do you know what would be really handy though? Is if we didn't have an edition change right now, because now that's fucking gone.
Yeah.
Well, how do you think you do? Don't know. Let's just wing it. A suggestion for you though, right? A suggestion for you next year. You know that there's a massive singles tournament on the week before, right? With
I'm
loads of
going.
French guys going to it and all that sort of stuff. Get friendly with one this year that isn't going to make the France team and say, here, man, come and be our coach next year. You're going to be here anyway. Fine, sort of.
Yeah, but I have to speak more French. We already have 2 French players on the team.
No disrespect to the French here. Like, look, if we can get to good players, we get to good players, right? I mean, you got to make it up, right?
I love the French community because they are full retard WTC. they but it's very good environment. If you need some perfect player for the WTC, they adopt all the rules. It's like Poland. The entirety of Poland just plays WTC. You go to one of those countries, you know it's not going to be, I'm just playing UKTC, I'm just playing Games Workshop. No, you go to France, especially since everyone from our team speaks French. So it just sucks that I have to speak French all week, but it's okay. I'll manage.
Well, I was going to say, Bolllos. I mean, I was listening to to contact Lost for people who aren't aware, do like a series of WTC interviews, and I just did a one with Rude from Team Netherlands. I mean, they have a chef coming to this year's WTC, Bolllos. So maybe instead of saying having coaches or assistants, say, hey, you can come as a chef, you know, come as our team accountant, you know, try and do something different, right?
The ball fondler. Table 7 here.
Oh, look. Well, hey, some people like their titles. I don't know what to say.
It's okay. It's okay. You told me I could swear and be vulgar, so it's okay.
No, all good, all good.
Back to seriousness.
Back to seriousness. Back to 40k, right? Back to 40k. So, Cathal, so you mentioned there before, this is a new edition. I imagine, so you guys have gone through edition change before, but maybe not as drastic as this. And now we're back to playing with our cards, a Maelstrom deck of sorts. What's that edition change been like? You said it's all chaos and throwing everything out of the way, but like
it is. Yeah, for us as a team, it's quite new because a lot of the guys, this is maybe like the first or second WTC or ETC, and then it was the same for last year. It was quite a new team. There was only one guy that had been away to more than one, so it's the first time we went through it. What we've noticed is in the build-up, we couldn't really get any scrims. We played against the States like 2 months ago maybe, and it lasted ages because we couldn't get guys to play their fucking game. It was like, play your game. No one wanted to. So the build-up's been quite difficult. But now 10th dropped. Again, it's going to be hard. You're just sort of going through like TTS servers and watching tryhards play or watching the Copenhagen guys play, trying to get games in there yourself. But no country will really play it because they don't want to give away any secret sauce. So that's quite difficult. And here at home, we didn't have anyone that was able to get the codex or get the indexes early. So we literally started on the first day. We were lucky that a local gaming store here like opened all day Saturday and Sunday, and a load of the guys in the team went down and played out for 2 days. And then we've had sort of like team practice last week, and we practice every Thursday evening. And like that way it's going good, but we're still probably like, look at Team Scotland and they're like 50 reps deep. We're maybe 20. Do you know what I mean? It's not. It's going to be quite hard to hit the ground running this year, I think, just because of the edition change. It's going to be a manic last couple of weeks for sure.
Well, I think it's going to be a manic last couple of weeks for everyone, right? No matter what sort of happens. But so you talk about there, so with the tryhard being like the tryhard wargaming server, like a popular tabletop simulator server, then the Copenhagen server, so like another popular TTS server. So yourself and I imagine some others watching games, just getting a feel for things there. But what else have you guys trying to be doing to get reps? So is it get a couple of games? Have you sort of split up the indexes between a bunch of people and get them to study and understand things, or what have you been doing?
What we've tried to do is we've tried to. Everyone's got an army they play, right? But if the army's no good, then we're trying to coax them away from it. It's like, but this Thursday's really gonna determine what you're gonna do. Like, if Tarring doesn't get hit, then you're gonna take probably both nights. If you know what I mean, if little changes don't get done here and there, then the armies aren't really going to change that much. What's going to hurt us is, say there's a last minute drop. That's where things start to get a bit complicated, because then you're trying to get guys that maybe haven't played that codex before to jump onto it or stuff like that. Our issue is we're not a massive community, but we do have guys that play sort of everything. So you get a feel of what's happening, and we've got some guys that are really going at it. So we just sort of have to see how Thursday settles, and then go, right, this is what we're going to aim for, and that's pretty much it. Do you know what I mean?
No, that makes complete sense, and I think a lot of people right now are in a very similar situation. Bolllos, what's that prep been like for you guys? Obviously, it sounds like you got a bunch of people from the French community that are being mercenaries. Like, how are you communicating with them? How are you splitting up, like revising codices or indices, and getting a feel for understanding this new edition?
Yeah, we did this very early on last September. We just told everyone, okay, pick 3 armies. Everyone that's a prospect, pick 3 armies, and we've got basically all the armies covered. I don't think there's one army that is not in there other than it's like Ages of the Imperium, but you don't play pure. But we've got everything covered, and everyone, as soon as the new data sheets dropped, everyone got assigned 3 or 4 codexes on an Excel and say, okay, pick your top 5 units. We know there's no points. Pick your top 5 units. There's no tier list, but just pick them. That first of all forces you to read through codex. I had to read through the Sisters codex. I never played Sisters in my life, but still, it forces you to confront the problems.
You're from Luxembourg, of course. You played with your sister.
No, I married my cousin. That it confronts you with things where you just have to think outside the box. Okay, because you know what I don't know what made Sisters great other than secondaries in last year. And I just look at it and think, Paragon Wars, it seemed nice. And then points drop, and then you just go, okay, sorry, towering exists and out of line of sight. So Sisters just go away with orcs and everything that needs to get across the table to kill something. You focus through, and everybody has their armies. I'm the only AdMac player. That is the only competitive AdMac player and the only competitive Eldar player. So I'm happy that AdMac are not good at the moment.
That's an easy choice.
Yeah. And it will always be an easy choice because Games Workshop does not know how to write an Eldar codex. And other times, like Thierry, who was on here last time, he's the only GSC player, competitive. There's other people who play GSC, but they have like a small army at home and play Kill Team. Other things like Tau, we probably can drown people in our Tau armies. That's okay. That's not a problem. But then Tau is not very good, other than like you take a Tau Nar or something like this. But who's got 600 euros lying around? That's the other problem. So prep is army, and now it's waiting because everybody's just sitting there on their asses, saying on their hand, going like, I want to do something, but I'm not going to play 3 Wraith Knights. Because I don't know what's going to happen to Towering, I don't know what's going to happen to Indirect, I don't know what's going to happen to Fate Dice, and to Devastating Wounds. So what do? Other than wrap the game.
I think you should just submit your lists now. Fuck it. Just put them in now and wing it. Just hope for the best.
At
Try.
least you'll get some practice, right? At least you'll definitely be knowing what the hell to play. It might not be good, but at least you lock it in. You can refine and refocus, right?
As long as points don't change, it should be okay. But
damn, that would be just the way, right? You're like, aha, I've done the smart thing. I've got it all sorted. We've adapted for the balances, and then points change. No. Too good.
It wouldn't be unheard of if they did it with Void Weavers as well. In the data slate, they just said, okay, it costs 130 points now, up from 90. Again, they don't know how to write another codex.
No. So you're taking Rad Bombardment then, right? Rad Bombardment for WTC. Easy. Eldar, AdMac, Rad Bombardment the whole way through, right, Bolllos?
Yeah, I'll just go there. Either I play the broken shit or I don't. And if I don't play the broken shit, nobody's going to be angry that I didn't win. And if I play the broken shit, I'd have to pay a few beers if I don't win.
Well, we'll find out soon enough. I'm guessing from there. So, obviously, losing at 40k can be a bit disheartening, right? Like no one likes to lose at 40k. What do you guys do to your team when the rounds are a bit tough, or you sort of going down, or maybe people? Obviously, you're from a community who's probably you're the best in your community, but on the international scene, like it's a much bigger tank of players. So, starting with yourself, Cathal, how do you guys help improve player morale when rounds are tough or they're going through a bit of a bad spell?
Well, last year was quite difficult actually. Like normally people from here are quite good at G'ing each other up or like not really getting down, and the team spirit is quite good. But when you get beat so tight twice, it was like, fuck me. What have we got to do? Do you know what I mean? What have we got to do? But when we came away from last year, we've as a team we've grown. and it was my first time away too. Like I'd done a home nations before, but I'd never been to WTC. So to go away and captain, you learn so much to then come back. So when we played home nations this year, we ended up getting we lost the first 3 games, and then we just had a bit of a sit down on the Saturday night and had a meal together, and everyone just had a bit of crack and relaxed, and we went in and beat Ireland and Sweden comfortably then on the second day because we were just a little bit more relaxed. The pressure was off, right? So it's just making sure the guys know that just have fun, fuck it. Like you lose, but if we win, you could come back a hero if we win 3 times. Do you know what I mean? So just keep that in mind and try and keep pushing forward for that. And just don't be a dick. You'll be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, is it a very similar sentiment to you, Bolllos? Is that what the teams you are trying to do with your own team, Luxembourg?
Basically the same thing. You go there for every win. You're happy. No, but you are not expected to win a lot. I mean, you're gonna. There's a few countries where like they're on your level and you try to beat them just for bragging rights. But it won't. In the end, the grand scheme of things, it won't mean anything. You're not going to be 25th. You're going to be 22nd. It's not going to change that much. But as Cathal said, it's that you're on 2 wins. You are heroes now because you won twice. You can, if you win a third time, that will it will boost morale. But then again, if you set your expectations low, you can never be disappointed. I think that's the main point because we don't go there to win. We just like we're having fun. Exactly as Cathal says, don't be a dick. I need to cut down on my drinking when playing because I could. It's a problem for me to stop talking. Not necessarily that I'm being a dick, but I have to stop talking. So that's just try to work on the personal stuff. Try to just be a nice opponent to the other guy. I mean, in the end of the day, against Italy, against even against Team Austria, who have been there a long time, a lot longer. They have a bigger player base. They have more competitive player. You can dream and say yes, maybe if we do the pairings right and then we can win. That is something that will boost morale a lot. But then again, we don't need a morale boost. As in, like imagine like Team Germany, they just won against Team USA, or they drew Team USA. That's like a big morale boost, and they go into the last game, right? That's something where that pushes the team upwards. If we win, we're happy, right? But we are not downtrodden, and we're not going to lose the last game because we lost all the other ones. It will just be part of the experience. Because again, our expectations are go there, have fun. The more you win, the better.
Like for us last year's is what you said. Our whole goal wasn't to win. It was to win, but it wasn't to win the whole tournament. Our goal on the first day was either to ruin Canada's tournament or ruin Sweden's tournament. The goal was like if we draw with these guys, we ruin their fucking tournament. That's what we want to do. No offense to them, but it was like this is where we're at. But the whole goal for the team and the goal for this year is as Bolllos says, right? We've got teams that are around us. So the teams we played around us were Wales and Romania, and we beat them both, which then pushed us way up, and then we ended up coming down again. But we beat the teams that we set out to beat, if that makes sense. And then if we had maybe got a draw in that second game and came out against someone slightly lower, then the idea would be to beat them. But like I think we set our goal and we came out well in the goal. Maybe not overall standings didn't come out the way they should have, but that's life. That's sometimes someone from below will just overtake you in the last game. So it's going to be the same again. As long as we beat Luxembourg, we'll be all right.
I doubt we'll face each other, but we'll never know.
You never know. Look, I mean, this year you got 4 new teams to attain the WTC or ETC for the first time. So I think Cyprus, Israel, South Africa, and New Zealand. So look, those are going to be people who never attended before. Obviously, I'm sure they'll play a bunch of team events, get a feel for things, but these are people I'm sure you can improve your rankings overall, right? Like you'll be 22nd out of 48 instead of 22nd out of 36 or something like that day. But I'm sure you guys will do great. And so in that light, so with new teams attending this year, so starting with yourself, Bolllos, what are some things that you think these new teams or people attending the WTC for the first time will have to learn and pick up? Like what were the biggest learnings that you had when you first attended?
I mean, we were one of the teams that didn't prepare at all. We had no idea what expected us, other than we had our guy back then. He was from, he played with Team Croatia, and he was the guy that got us into the competitive thing. And he said, yeah, listen, you're going to drink a lot and you're going to have a good time, but you will lose. And so everybody went there and we had a good time. We had no preparation. So we didn't go there as, it was just for fun. I mean, some teams, it depends on the mentality of the team. Either you have like competitive players that want to go there and win, they'll prepare a lot more. And since, as Cathal said at the beginning, there's a lot more content out there. There's a lot more people talking about how to prepare your team, and there's even coaching sessions you can book for your team. So it depends on what the goal for the team is. If the goal for the team is just to go there and have fun, I doubt people from South Africa will just want to drive there and have fun, because it is a long flight. It's not as expensive as getting there from Australia, but it's not going to be cheap. But I mean, people like us, it's a 2-hour drive. So if we went to Serbia was a different thing. But if your team mentality is just go there and have fun, preparation is going to be minimal. All you need to do is make sure you have your army, make sure you have something. I mean, be a social person. But if you really want to get into it, there's content out there that lets you how to do pairings right, how to do, and you can scrim with other teams, because there's so many. Even France has so many different league teams where you can just, I mean, you pick a team from the 3rd league and you can just ask them, listen, guys, you want to scrim? If you once you know how to gauge your own strength, you find a team that's on your level, or that you think that's on your level, and you write them. Because most teams, I mean, pretty sure that if I write in the captain's Discord, hey, listen, we need a scrim partner, just random lists, it's just to get the game going, most people will just say yes, or you'll find someone you can play. So if you really want to test, and if you do not have the means in your community to play 8 versus 8, which not everybody can do, you'll have a WTS allows you to just scrim against so many different teams, and you don't have to do everything all at once. It's like Cathal said, there's like people taking 2 weeks or 4 weeks to finish their games because they couldn't find, 2 players couldn't find a date where they think. That is also something you can do for preparation. Trying to find a coach, organizing everything, making it as smooth as possible if you go there. That's, I mean, the info is all out there. You just have to know where to search, in my opinion, if you're a new team.
Yeah, Cathal, what do you think about that? Like, what advice would you give to new teams?
I would just say reach out and talk to other captains and other teams that are out there, because from my experience, no one doesn't answer the phone, no one doesn't answer a text message. It doesn't matter how successful that team is or how big their egos are, they will still send you a message back and have a bit of a shit talk for a while. So, like, just reach out to teams and see what their experiences are and see how they can help you. That's pretty much it. That's yeah.
Man, they'll stop answering the phones now, Cathal. You've called them for the 25th time, but no, I'm sure most people are very friendly and more than willing to like share information and talk 40k. But that's something I learned about you, Cathal. So someone who really wants to learn a lot of information, listens to a bunch of podcasts or talks to people and tries to understand things. How do you try and disseminate that information, and like how do you filter it and apply it? Like, what's your process? So, like, advice that you might get from Sean Dayton at Team USA versus Innes in Team Scotland, like how do you try and interpret that information, and like what do you do yourself?
I take them both and I don't really discriminate against it. I'm like, right, this is what this guy wants, this is what this guy wants, this just push it into the group and see what comes out of it, because you've got like 12 guys, or in our squad, for example, there's like 15 or 16 people, and they might not all be going, but everyone will take that wee bit of information and use it slightly different than somebody else. So you just have to keep like feeding it in and let them decipher what they want. I'm just there to push it in, and hopefully someone grabs it and then they remind me about it like 2 months time. Hey, fuck, what about this guy said this last month? You're like, oh yeah, cool. That's pretty much it. No one's like, I not work more, but like I would talk to more guys than other guys, like Chris from Chris Canada, Pierce, who was Ireland's captain last year, and Innes, like the 3 guys that I'd be like constantly with, or constantly on at, do you know what I mean? And they're always willing to help, and they've always got snippets of information, and sometimes it's the same, like, do you know what I mean? It's Warhammer, Sweet Shoulders, Sisters of Battle. The same units do the same things in the same countries, right? Or in different countries, sorry. So like you always get snippets of information that this overlaps, and you know then it's right.
Yeah, that or the thing on the same wavelength, they're like, nah, that can't be right. But no. But yeah, like sometimes like they both independently come to that same conclusion, so you can at least use the information. Oh, okay. Or they like one thing for different elements, I imagine, right? Like they use it like as an attacking piece or a defensive piece or something like that. So it's good to hear those things in different contexts and go from there. So
no one fears Northern Ireland, right? No one fears that we're going to win. So the Polish will tell us shit. The Americans will tell us
Same
shit.
here.
the Canadians tell us shit, and it doesn't mean we're going to do anything with it. It just means that the trust is not. We're not going to beat them, but the trust is to give the information and try and help us in our journey forward. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and to trust us enough to not give the information to the other people.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, and Bolllos, something you mentioned there before was like the information now game has spread out widely. So whereas Cathal previously probably had to talk to people and like understand it behind the scenes, now like people for stat check, like with Typhus being able to do all this published like 8v8 pairings and go for the logic and process of which Team Poland, Team Iceland, and now also Team Luxembourg, what you guys did at the Eurotrash Cup in terms of pairings. And so there's a lot of information out there. Do you think that information is beneficial for newer players, or do you think it's more that the bar has now been raised of what the standard is? Or do you think it's a bit of both?
The bar is constantly being raised. You can just see it that because most of the time it's the same players. There's the same players behind the scene, or there's the same players at the table. At some point there will be the same people, and they have obviously improved within that year, and so the bar constantly gets raised. But it's never to a detriment. As in painting, I usually say that you can learn. A person who paints for 20 years can learn something from someone who just started, because he's got a nice trick, or he found something and that you might have missed. I mean, if you listen to podcasts, obviously the first thing you're going to hear is the most broken stuff. Oh yeah, just play 3 Wraith Knights. Yes, obviously that's the thing. But then someone finds out that if you put this character next to this rune in the right spot, that might not make it to the podcast until at some point it will come out, and because some people just pick up on that stuff, there's just the amount of people going through codexes at some point is going to notice. But I don't think it's a positive or a negative thing that's out there. I mean, it's just more information, and I mean, you might use the information in one way, I might use the information in the other way. It helped us both, but in different ways. So same as if person A tells me don't use that unit, person B tells me use that unit, I'll consider both their options and see which one either fits my playstyle best or my opinion. Because if 50% of the people say A and 50 say B, there's no real there's a up and downside for both. And then you just go like, well, what fits my playstyle? Then you go into the next level. You go, does it fit, or does it fit the mission play, or does it fit into team play, or does it fit into into single tournaments? But then again, all that information is out there. You do with it what you mean. Digesting it, dissecting it, and analyzing it, and knowing what's in piece of information is important and which one is not. That's the hard part if you're getting into it. But I think other than that, having more information out there is never a detriment to anybody, since it's most, like you said, the pairings. It's something that was there. It's past. It will help everybody learn. It will help us learn, since we see what mistakes we made, which we later on knew that this wasn't maybe not the best idea to pair these guys against each other, or maybe put that one down first. That means that next time when we try it, that doesn't happen again, and we might fuck up in some other place later down the line, but then we'll learn from that as well. That's the repetition, which you can only get from playing a lot. So the bar is constantly going up, but you are following it if you stay in it.
Yeah, sure. Cathal, is it a similar experience you found as well? So, like, have you found like trying to recruit people into Team Northern Ireland or like the local community, this information has helped improve their game overall, or has it brought more people in to understand it?
The information obviously helps. What's drawn more people into the team, I think, is the game itself is getting way bigger. So more people, we were really good last year at putting it out there and being like, here, this is what we're doing. Come help us, blah, 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 the way through. So that like made far more people involved. And when we created a squad instead of creating just a team, then that also gets more people involved. And the more you can get people, so we've got 2 or 3 really good players, and the more times you can get someone at the bottom to get fingered by him, then the better he gets at the game, right? So, like one of my first experiences at an international level was Tony Chu, and it was an Eldar Mura, and he absolutely fisted me. But from that moment, I was like, this is it. Like, this is what I want to do. I want to come here and I want to play against these guys and give it a shot, right? So the more you can not beat the new guys coming through, but the more you can show them that the game is fun, and this is how we play it, and this is the bar we're at now, and you watch them just watch them slowly develop. We've a guy, Harry, he's coming as a coach for us this year, only come on the scene like 3 tournaments at the end of last season, and now he's coming away as a coach, and he is absolutely stomping it because he just absolutely fucking loves it. It's like, this is class. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's a good way to get them to come through. Is just to be like, bang, in against the big guys, watch it get beat, and get a slowly but surely get better.
Yeah, and also you see other people that you introduce into the game, and you see they have fun, and then they grow up, and it's like watching a kid grow, right? You see him develop his skills. You see him blossoming into a competitive player that just wants to ruffle stone people.
Yeah, you see him pull like one move, it's like, oh, so the piling control that trick. It's like, oh my god, they're growing, they're learning, they're
It's like
seeing
a little tear going. They grow up so fast.
That's it. It's just become a proud dad moment. So that's awesome. But so something that's obviously noteworthy. So obviously, Bolllos and Cathal yourselves are like very good players, and you're seeing like win, I'm sure, a bunch of games, win a bunch of tournaments, and like I've seen this pedigree, and you commit a lot of time and obviously energy to this hobby. But obviously, your teams themselves or other players on your team may not have the luxury of being able to commit as much time and resources to the hobby as you do, or the standards you want, and like they may not be as good. How do you sort of balance? I guess maybe like a personal question, because I found this some issues myself sometimes. Is look, I want to win, I want to do my best I can at these team events, but other people on my team can't invest that time and resources to it, and it's like they don't win a game because they don't understand something. They're like, fuck, why didn't you understand this? So I guess my question is like, how do you balance your own egos or the team's ego with like people just being inexperienced or not understanding a certain element, or not being able to dedicate as much time as what you would really like them to, or what you can dedicate? I know it's a long-winded question and not the most wordy, but or not the most well-worded, but hopefully it makes sense. Like, how do you like balance that ego per se on?
I learned that it's okay to lose. You can never win every game. So when it comes to like inexperience, it's as long as the person that is inexperienced gets taught at the same time. Like there's no point being like, oh, you haven't had the time to look at this, but I'm not going to show you how this interaction works. Because if you don't take the time with guys, then you're never going to get anywhere, right? So it's about taking time with people that don't quite understand the rule and being like, right, this is how it works. Let's put these 2 models down. Let's see. Let's, like you said, the pile in and consolidate thing. A lot of people out there, they think they know it until it comes up against them, and they're like, geez, I didn't know that worked like that. It's like, well, this is how it works, and we'll do this maneuver over here, and let's see how you can do it against me. Let's see how you can wrap this without actually fighting me. Let's see how you can do, you know what I mean? Different things like that. And then when it comes to the time thing, it's really fucking difficult. Like I'm with 3 kids, and I'm a mechanic, and as part of my job, I get to fly away around the world fixing race cars. So on the build up to WTC this year, I have been absolutely manic, and I've literally had 1 game a 10th. So trying to be on people's backs and being like, guys, you really need to play games. You need to play games. You need to play games. But I'm not going to be there this Thursday evening because my wife's sick this week, and I've got a backlog of work that I need to do. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to be there, so we'll try and get a game with TTS. We'll try and get a game here somewhere else. It can be difficult. But what I'd say is for people just to remember that, okay, you want to go away and do as well as you can, but it is still a hobby, right? Even though as much prep as you put into it, and as many, like, you can listen to podcasts all day, you could make phone calls all day, you could watch battle reports all day, it's still a hobby, okay? So if something gets in the way, shit happens, it's life, right? So just roll with it, and as long as you're doing your best, your team isn't going to mind, and yeah, that's it. You just have to have a bit of time for people and be like, look, life gets in the way. I understand.
Wise words of Cathal. Bolllos, anything you want to add on there?
No, I'm in I'm in a worse position that as I own a store, I have to watch other people play while I work, so I can. But other than that, yes, people, as long as people do their best, you can't really be mad at them. Nobody expects teams on our standing to just be like Team Germany. How many reps has each of them? They're pretty sure they're at 100 reps. Out of War, these guys, it's their job, right? It's their job to get up and play Warhammer. You can't compare yourself to these guys, and you can't expect your players to be on that level or to have that kind of motivation or that kind of time. Because same here, they work until most of the guys on the team have kids, or just had kids, or just moved, or have a job that puts them off and on. I have to work on weekends. Thierry has other stuff to do during the week as well, because he's a teacher. He does have a lot more time, but that's at home doesn't mean he's at home doing nothing. At home means he's had to have a house to mind, right? You have chores to do and everything. Like, so as Cathal says, they train every Thursday evening. That's a good standard to set yourself a date where this day we'll do everything and we'll try to get together. But if someone can't come for 3 or 4 consecutive weeks, life happens, as you said. You can't be mad at someone, and as long as he tries to be there, nobody cares if he's not there. I mean, that's most of the teams are on the same.
Yeah, like it's the effort that people want to put in. Aside of we're training on a Thursday evening, you can't make it, cool. But you know for a fact they're like I'm going to play this guy on a Friday, or I'm going to try and get a game on TTS, or I'll try and get next Thursday. I'll get down for 2 games instead of 1 game. Do you know what I mean? So like everyone always tries, and as Buzz says, as long as you try, then you can't really be mad at them for it.
Yeah, and you can't be mad about effort, right? As well, like if someone can't physically be there, like for yourself, Cathal, you've got your busy life and you're traveling around the world, just fixing up race cars, saving lives and stuff like that. So that sounds like an alternative adventure game. So there we go. But you can't you can always recognize effort, right? And like people, there's always Discord chats. I don't know how you guys do it, but I'm sure like Discord or Facebook groups or whatever, WhatsApp groups, whatever it is. You can always like just chat in there and be involved in the game and help the team along the way, even if you physically can't be there to put your war dollies on the table or on the virtual table via TTS.
Or do the administrative work behind the scenes. Excel sheets, filling out battle report statistics and something like this. That's something you can do on your own if you have time. It's something that helps the team in the long run. Preparing scoring sheets, preparing or map layouts or something like that. Stuff that adapts stuff to work that needs to be done, that adapts to the needs of the team, which you can do on your free time. Let's say you work shifts. You work at 6 o'clock in the morning or 4 o'clock in the morning. Nothing's going on. Well, you can't play a game, but you can prepare stuff.
Yeah, and like, I'm sure there's some. Everyone needs like a community painter, right? Everyone needs like commission painter for their own team. So just get the person to go start painting some stuff. I'm sure along the way, maybe. I don't know if that's an option.
Get my yard brush out here.
Yeah.
Oh, too good. So heading into this year's WTC, so what are your expectations starting with yourself, Bolllos? Like, where are you predicting that Team Luxembourg will come out overall? Like, what are your feelings heading in?
It's hard to say looking at the teams, because usually when I look at the team New Zealand, I have I know that I forgot his name, but he lives in the UK and he's Team Ignition.
Absolutely nobody. Gaylord who?
David Gaylord?
Never heard of him.
No, that's what I mean. So I know that there's at least one very good player on that team, and I don't know the rest. I don't know if Taus is on the team.
He is, unfortunately. No, he's the vice captain for this year. So
okay, again, but I've never seen them. I don't know how to gauge that team, but I'm guessing better than us. South Africa, I have absolutely no idea.
There's no way New Zealand could be any good because they're upside down all the time, like walking on the roof.
Cathal, you guys beat them at the home nation, so they can't be that good then, right?
We beat one guy.
Hey,
not one guy.
Jeez, Cathal, take the win.
Yeah, so like for example, so Tausi, he's some mercs for Team Sweden at home nations. Like he was there for a school trip essentially. It's like, oh, that's a spare spot. So I mean, they beat. No, you just beat all of New Zealand, Cathal. Just don't. Let's look at one dude in all.
He did get 1 point against Guard with Chaos Knights, but that's something.
Good for him. Anyway, so back on topic. So, Bolllos, what are you guys expecting for this year?
Prediction is really hard because you don't know how to gauge all the other teams. I mean, I'm guessing we have a few players now that are definitely an improvement from the skill level of what we have last time. So because Romania, we weren't that far off. Norway, we were 2 points off a draw. So those are the matches I think that we should win if we do it right. Now Norway has improved as well. As that they have a guy on their team who is 3rd overall. then it's player. He just won 3rd overall in the entire tournament. Sure, you 20-0'd everyone. And I think Liam was first. I can't remember, but he 20-0s everyone anyway.
Is it bad? I was like, oh, Liam Vassell. I don't think he was first. And I was like, oh, Liam Hackett. Nice.
Hackett, yeah.
No,
I don't.
Do you even know that guy?
Yeah. So it's hard to gauge where we should be. Some teams we should win against. Some teams we will probably not win against. We might just do like the impossible and win our pod against someone who we shouldn't beat. We never know. It's really hard to gauge. We're trying to win at least 2 rounds, as in 2 best of 8s. Or best of, yeah, you know what I mean. 2 rounds. But it's impossible to gauge. Because we do not have the reference we have is last year we beat Latvia. Yes, very good. We beat Latvia. They're a new team. They were just really there for fun, and they were really fun, and we were a bit more try hard, so we wanted to win. But against the others, I mean, I have no idea. And since you don't know who you play, because if in pot phase you do well, you have a 1 win, and then game 7, the last day, you'll play against whoever is 1-6 or 1-5 anyway, and then you're playing against that, and that you will win. So you have your 2 wins. Will it be anything in the overall? I don't know. So it's difficult to gauge where you will be at from our perspective, because I don't know how well the other teams have practiced, how to gauge Cyprus, how to gauge New Zealand, how to gauge South Africa and Israel. They might be very, very good players because I don't know them. That's oh yes, Australia. God damn it.
But that makes complete sense. Like it's hard to gauge, right? And well, I'm sure once you get a bit more stability, you'll be able to figure things out. What about yourself, Cathal? What are your expectations heading in for Team Northern Ireland?
We are just going to try and beat the teams that are around us again this year. That's the aim. If we can get the 2 wins, if we can get the 3 wins, that'll be the best we've ever done. So that's our goal. That's what we'd really like to do. But as long as we come away beating the teams around us like we did last year, then yeah, I'll be happy enough. Just because of how chaotic it's going to be going into 10th, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell where you're going to be at. Do you know what I mean? And as Bolllos says, like South Africa, who are they? Do you know what I mean? Cyprus, who are they? New Zealand, they're upside down all the time. They can be that good. So, well, yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. But like Portugal were new last year, right? Portugal were new, and they had half of a France team. So you don't know who's gonna. Oh, Cyprus could turn up, and they could have 4 fucking Americans. Iceland turn up 4 Americans. Do you know what I mean? Who knows? So
we'll figure it out, right? We'll find out on the day. So it's very, very soon, less than a month away, or just over a month away, right, from the event.
5 weeks.
5 weeks.
On the 8th of August.
Very, very close.
Yeah.
Charles, no. Oh no!
I thought it was 7 weeks.
It's getting closer now, Cathal. But so thank you very much, guys, for joining and chatting about all things Luxembourg and Team Northern Ireland, respectively. Really appreciate it. Before we wrap things up, Bolllos, any final plugs or shout-outs you want to have?
Thanks everyone for coming to the tournament. Plugs, I don't have any plugs since the people already know who in Luxembourg know who I am. Other than that, thanks to all the lovely people. Thanks to everyone for watching, as usual.
Yeah, no worries. I've got Team Luxembourg's Facebook page, so give it a like, give it a follow. Is in the description below for people listening. People to share and follow all the chats. Carl, any final plugs or shout-outs?
So you can follow us on Twitter and see what's going on. And if there's anyone out there that's good at 40k and has an Irish passport, let me know, because you can come play for us. No, I'm only joking. Just want to plug out to the team that's going this year. Hopefully, you know what I mean, we'll all have a good tournament, and good luck, and thanks for all your hard work this year so far. Especially my absence in the last couple of months. So yeah, we're really looking forward to it.
Yeah, and if you're a Ranger or a Ginger, like you're basically part of Ireland, right? So you just fit in right in. Don't even need the passport.
And a bottle of whiskey.
And a bottle of whiskey. There you go. That's what really matters. So thank you very much. Yeah. So thank you very much for listening. Really appreciate you guys, and appreciate you guys joining us for a good chat. And best of luck at the WTC, and looking forward to seeing how you guys go. And thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.